Hello, this is Rachel, and so I had a few comments made by the same person, and so I wanted to do one video from those comments, and I want to do the love-hate cycle. So the love-hate cycle has to do with the splitting, and everything all the responses and situations and communication that the borderline expects is always on a time limit. And that's one reason why not getting back to them or not communicating the distance, whether you're busy or you just need space, that is going to be part of that time limit judgment. And it's also one of those flags where they automatically assume, with the splitting, they automatically assume that you got something up your sleeve, or you're not serious about them, or serious about situation, or you're blowing them off like they're second, third, fourth place, and like they're not a priority. So a lot of times things are in a time limit, and I know that isn't fair to the receiving end, but it is part of the disorder. And if you love or care or know or work around somebody who has it, it's like you have to adapt to it. And there's not a lot that can be changed immediately because it takes work to change. This is not something that can just be unlearned or adjusted in a week or a month or a year. So I'm sure there are some, but that would be like super minority. So a minority to how many people are different. The time limit thing could be you didn't pay something on time, you didn't do something in time, you did not turn something in time, you did not respond in time, you didn't pay attention in time. There's a lot more, but those are some examples about the time limit. So when you're dealing with a borderline, you can pretty much count on it being similar to a kitchen timer. So they have it set. So they might have it set for a minute. Some might have it set for, an hour, 3 hours, a day, a week, a month before they're going to want to split. And it's not in their control to split. So when the borderline gets cold or has that hate part, it's the switch they can't control at all. And then when they're in that state, in the hate state or the cold state, their mind is only thinking about the worst things about the situations, the relationship, or the other person or group of people, and whatever else, parenting, whatever. They think the worst about them, and that is the glasses they look through. So when they're in the cold state or the hate state, if you think about maybe they said things that bothered them in the past, that's probably on this list for the cold or hate thing. Or if there's things that you've done that and that showed them some kind of betrayal, or the fact that they weren't important or priority, or made, number 2, 3, 4, 5, things similar to that showed them a slight. So, it might be something super small. It might be that you forgot to get them French fries. I know this sounds stupid. It could be that you're talking to somebody that betrayed them, as if you're buddy with that person and it doesn't matter that they hurt that borderline. It could be you didn't text in time, you blew it off for hours, or maybe you didn't answer a question or talk about a photo that they sent or something like that. the hate cold situation in a job, you'll feel like you're a team member with them, and then all of a sudden they're, either telling on you to the boss, talking about you to other people, or, not being a teammate for you, or making it hard to be. And I'm not saying the borderline's real bad or gossips or anything. These are just examples. It might be one, it might be more. Every borderline is different. Some are, very mild, and others are severe. Some, get over it in a couple years. Some don't get over it their whole lifetime, even with help and medication. So if you think about the time plus what was it that was done or said, not done or not said, that this borderline could take as, a slight or something that shows them that you're not going to be there, or that you don't take them serious, or that you're not willing to give equal treatment. And that's another thing, is borderlines, one of the things where there's that split is because they're putting a lot into the relationship, or have a lot of feelings on their relationship, and they're not getting the same amount back. Even 40% back would be good for the borderline. So if you think, well, this person always does this for me, they might clean, they might buy you something, they might be a good friend, it might be a lot of different combinations. But if you notice that they're always paying for food, don't think that they don't want you to do it too for them. They want equal, maybe not equal, but they want the favor in return, as well, often enough. It's not all them. It shouldn't be all about them and what they can give, and that's okay. If they're constantly buying dinner and you can't afford to make that, return the favor, they expect that you show gratitude and respect, and at least, say that you would love to do things that, you're not capable of doing, or something like that. So the switch could be about their efforts and it not being recognized, or it's being taken for granted. So the love-hate thing with the cold part, there could be yelling, there could be violence, there could be throwing a lot of things in your face, and that's part of the weapons that they have. So, a lot, the worse it gets, like up to violence and stuff, they really don't have control over themselves at all. They have no composure to get to that violent point. At least it might be in one situation, it might be something that's happened over a few years here and there, or it might be something that happens every day. But that kind of borderline is severe, period, because they do not have control over the violence. And this is somebody who needs more urgent, immediate care and attention. And that's another thing, is the borderline really needs a lot of support. And when there's, for this love, hate, hot, cold, if you're supportive and you show that you're supportive, you could even say, I'm on your side. I'm on your side. You might have to say that 97 times, for it to sink in. And the first few times you say it, it's going to feel like you saying it doesn't matter because they're stuck in this thinking. But it does matter, because it's a seed that you plant in their head. And eventually, when they want to switch, they think about what you said, like, well, they always say they're on my side. That might be the one thing that helps them from not switching or being able to switch back sooner. So when you're talking about the love and the hot, they have a lot of deep feelings. And because of the neglect and the abuse, they might not be able to perform it, but they have this ideal of, what they would want someone to treat them. And when they see somebody going through something, or they hear it, they put themselves in that situation. And so they have a lot of love to give because that's what they want. they, when it's a love hot, they want to be there for you and loyal, because that's the right thing to do when you care and love for somebody. When it's when it's hot, love and hot, they'll sacrifice and do all these things. That's why it's so easy to love part of them. Even when they do these bad behaviors and they hurt you, it's easy to love a part of them because a part of them is really good. Usually, most of the time, And another thing to consider is that there's people with special needs that have borderline too. And it's important to be there for them and understand these things. Especially if they're nonverbal, that you need to be more supportive. The hot, cold, when it's love and hot, the borderline is more receptive and open to both sides and your needs. So, like I said, not everyone's like that. Some are severe, but this is like for the most part. So I know it seems like a lot of work when they split. It's going to be exhausting that they go from they care, they love you, they're there for you, to they're not, and it's the opposite, and they got a problem with you, and the things they say and do feels like permanent damage. It's things that you'll remember for the rest of your life even, and it caused pain and confusion. How can this person be so wonderful and be all about me or the situation, and then, they're not. It's not that they're trying to borderlines are trying to manipulate. It's just that things have to be a certain way, done in a certain time, and they need to be treated in a certain way and get things in return. For them to feel more comfortable, they need to know that you're on their side. And then maybe you can say, I understand where you're coming from. Because if you say, I understand where you're coming from, you're not saying that you agree, but you are saying that you see their point of view and where they're coming from. And that is saying that you're supportive too, and that you're open to seeing that part. So it's not that obviously it's high maintenance to people who aren't used to it or that are exhausted easy and stuff like that. But it's not about them being high maintenance. It's about a certain kind of care that they need. It's like somebody needing special care or a specialist. And they basically need a specialist in their life with special care. And so, it's something you have to adapt to if you choose to have a relationship. If you're a family member, work with them, have a relationship with them, or anything like that. It's somebody you see on a regular basis. So, I hope this helps. I'll try to make another video. Thank you for commenting. Thank you.